Ram fam, my name is Jeff Garner, and once again we are here for Inside Cleveland Rams Football. I'm here with head coach Scott Riley. As always, thanks again for your time again, Coach.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. What a great week. What can we say? Rams celebrated another road victory this past week in the conference, defeating Western Harnett 49-13. That's 5 straight wins, which brings the overall record to 7-3. But better still, keeps the Rams undefeated at 4-0 in conference play. But as you and I both know, Coach, we've got even better news than that. Couple the Rams' victory with the loss by Corinth-Holders this past week to South. The Rams are again outright Two Rivers 3A Conference champions. Congratulations! I know that was one of the goals heading into the season.
Absolutely, we're real excited about that. Regardless of what happens Friday, we'll get the first playoff seed from the conference. If we win outright, then we're the sole conference champions. If we lose, then Triton us would tie, but we'd have the tiebreaker over them. So something we're real excited about, but we want to make sure we keep improving, getting ready for the playoffs. But,
absolutely.
Something we're very excited about, checking off one of those 2 major goals.
Well, regarding this game at Western, the Rams came out hot, 14 points in the first quarter. Second quarter, however, a little different. The Rams kind of hit a bit of a lull. Took a 28-13 lead into the half. Credit the Eagles, though. They gave the Rams all they could handle there in that second quarter. But after coming out of the half, the Rams scored 21 unanswered, won the game 49-13. After the game, Coach, I thought you had some great comments to the team, but you actually called this one an ugly win. Talk about that a little bit.
Well, they made it a real physical game up front and on both the offense and defense side of the ball, and kept our offense off the field by running the ball well, or at least consistently up front, and made it a close game when I think our players, when we got that hot start, felt like it wasn't going to be a close game. So, and those things happen, and I was happy with them that you can win a game like that. So we've won games finesse-wise, and to win a physical game was a good test for us.
And again, going where it is in the season, going in, this final regular season game, getting prepared for the playoffs, those kind of things. I mean, hate to say it, but it might be a good thing. That ugly win type of thing, like, hey, we did what we needed to do. Maybe we didn't do it great, what we started out doing, but we finished well.
Right. So you always want to see a team, hopefully you're going to play great all 4 quarters, but oftentimes there's a lull in there, and you want to see how they respond. And I thought in the second quarter we didn't play that well on either side of the ball with turnovers and letting them in the end zone a couple times. But they responded well. They picked each other up. They didn't get down on each other. So those things could snowball and make it a much more difficult day.
Right.
But they went into halftime, or right before halftime, scored, and then took that momentum through the halftime and then finished them off.
Well, let's talk some stats, Coach. Norman, 27 of 31. That's an 87% completion percentage, 433 yards, 4 touchdowns. Receiving, Jacob Scott with another monster night, 10 catches, 250 yards, three scores. Jake Mason, 5 for 97 and a score. You throw in Griffin Duck with 7 for 62. John Barnes, 4 for 19. Jawar Williams, 1 for 5. Heck of a night again through the air, Coach.
Yeah, absolutely. Probably the most telling stat was Caden was 18 for 20 in the first half alone for like 320 some yards. Obviously in the second half, when we got up, we stopped throwing it quite as much.
Running a little more, yeah.
When the game was in doubt, 18 from 20 for 300 yards. I don't know if I've ever seen that.
Yeah.
So obviously a great job by the receivers, O-line blocking, and they're executing on that side of the ball. That's for sure.
I did see again one of the things again that O-line. I mean, Caden had a couple sacks, that kind of thing. But I thought the O-line gave him a lot of time. Again, that's a big contributor to that to that completion percentage and that kind of thing. I just thought they gave him time all night long.
Yeah. It takes all 11. They don't have the stats up front, but it takes all 11 to get it done up there.
Well, on the ground, the Rams were led by Tyson Dew, 13 carries, 78 yards, and a score. Joseph James, 5 carries for 31. That's 31 passes, 26 runs. That's a well-balanced offensive night.
Yeah, it is, and they try to make it difficult for us to run. Outnumber us in the box and those kind of things. But makes it difficult to defend the pass. So the ability to do both is what makes our offense pretty dangerous.
Defensively, the Rams held the Eagles to only 22 passing yards. That's 5 of 11 on 5 of 11 attempts. Excuse me. Eagles did have 178 yards on the ground, led by senior Tyler Honer. 72 yards, couple of scores. Strong night for the defense as well, Coach.
Yeah, I thought they played well. They did kind of what we asked for. No big plays. And when you keep a high school offense from the big plays, it's hard to score a lot of points. So in that aspect, very good. few execution things. We could have got tackles for loss. It ended up being 4 or 5 yard gains. But it's hard to go 4 or 5 yards a clip all the way down the field in high school and not mess up somewhere along the lines and have a turnover or something like that. And that's one thing I thought we did really well is, capitalize, got several turnovers and got the ball back to our offense. So great performance when you factor in the turnovers.
The Eagles gave us a lot of trouble, I think, with that counter to begin with, but really, stop that later on. I mean, after a few, I think they got a score, maybe 2 off the counter. I'm not sure, but again, that counter gave us trouble, but we took care of that.
Yeah, that's something they hadn't shown on film. Triton had some success with it against us early. It's probably where they installed that from. But once we had recognized it and diagnosed it, we played it a little bit better.
Rams win the turnover battle 4-3. 3 fumbles on the night for the Rams. I know that's something you probably weren't happy about and something you look to clean up. Obviously.
Absolutely, it's one reason that the game kind of looked ugly a bit was the turnover. Something that we hadn't done much all year has been turning the ball over. So that's something obviously got to fix and be ready to correct. And I know our offensive coaches are already
working on that.
Already been on those guys about that. And, we'll get it fixed for next week.
All right. Well, as we do each week, Coach, I've queued up some plays here for us. I'd like you to step us through. Give us your comments if you would. First one here, Coach. First offensive drive for the Rams. 1st and goal for the Rams from the 10. Sophomore Tyson Dew takes it in.
Yeah, we actually checked the play here.
I heard check. Everybody, yeah, exactly.
Coach Jacobs, who's signaling there, asked if we wanted to check, and Tyson has really good hearing. He heard check, so he turns and looking to the sideline to see the check, but no one else hears it, so they snap the ball. He fortunately turns back, so it looks almost like a draw.
It looked like a draw, yeah.
But that was a mess up that turned out to our favor. Sometimes when things look out of order, it's kind of like a fumble kickoff. A lot of times is going to get returned for touchdowns.
One of those yes. Yeah, absolutely.
So, fortunate in that it turned out, but it all starts with the O-line up front. They obviously didn't hear the check, got it executed, got it blocked, and so he could be distracted and then still get the ball and score.
Well, we're still in the first quarter here, Coach. Very next series for the Eagles, and your defense comes up with their first turnover of the night.
Right. Really good execution here out of the secondary. We're rolling. We have 2 safeties over top of the 2 inside receiver wings, and we're rolling to the motion, which makes it appear that the one wing's going to be open, but we're just going to roll that other guy over. And Jacob Scott does a good job of going and catching that ball. But something we worked on a lot this week was doing that, and to see it execute on the field is great. Always
satisfying to see it come through. All right, after the Rams get that INT, a big gainer here from Norman to Jacob Scott.
Yep, pretty simple pitch and catch. I think we have this highlight every week.
I'm telling you, I don't know. I could pull it up regardless, any game.
He's faking the slant there, gets the corner to hesitate for a second, and he's a hard one to hesitate on. He's got that top end speed.
Yeah, give him just a step and he's done.
He's not going to drop any. So, and then Ken does a good job putting that ball right in his bread basket. And can't ask for any more than that right there.
I know he'd love to get in the end zone there, but again, just a great passing catch. It was a good job.
And I'm sure next week you'll have another one.
Exactly. All right, second quarter now, Coach. Rams with a first down on the Eagles 45. Norman this time finds Jake Mason for the touchdown.
Yeah, good setup play. Run a lot of screens out here to Jacob Scott out of that formation.
They bit off of that.
So we figured that they would try to overplay that at some point, and they did. They bit on the screen pass to Jacob and get their eyes in the backfield and hit Jake Mason over the top.
Wide open. All right, right after that touchdown, Coach, the Rams special teams comes up with a big turnover for you deep in Eagles territory here off the kickoff.
Yeah, good high kick by Wyatt Covey there. Places it right where we wanted it. The returner there misjudges where the ball's coming down, and had good hustle down there. Tion does a good job of recovering that fumble.
I always wonder, again, great kickoff. Again, it was high. That's almost that straight down trajectory is tough to manage sometimes, especially in the lights, I guess.
Yeah, and you have a whole team running down there.
When you're getting ready to get popped,
right.
That's a different story. All right, still in the same in the second quarter, Coach. After an Eagles punt, the Rams actually start this drive on their own one. After a few plays, they move out to the 31, and on second down, Norman hits Jacob Scott, beautiful 69-yard touchdown.
Yeah, we were executing well on that drive. It's a 2-minute drive. There's only like 30-some seconds left here when he throws the ball. We're executing well, but they were doing a good job of keeping everything in front of them, 5-10 yards. We're trying to get to the sideline, getting out of bounds. We're doing well, but if we were going to score on that drive, we're going to take a shot. So we took it here. Same route we got him on, the last one you showed. Faked the slant a little bit. He doesn't bite it on it as well, but enough to get some clearance there. And Jacob Scott, we all know he's fast and catching those things, but he's a lot stronger than people realize. And you see that here. Otherwise, it's just a 15-yard pass interference if he isn't as strong as he is, be able to hold himself up.
Yeah, another just fantastic play. All right, Coach, still in the second. After the Eagles touchdown, your special teams comes up with yet another play for you.
Yeah, this team has been real successful. I'd like to find out what the record is for most
we need to look back
points.
On that.
Unfortunately, we've had a lot of opportunities because we've given up a lot of touchdowns early, but they do take pride in this, and they do a good job. TJ's got quite a few, but almost everyone along that front has got one along the way. So, but another good job. He does a good job of slipping right through there and getting his hands up.
It didn't come into play particularly in this game, but those plays right there usually come back to haunt the other team. And again, you guys just do a fantastic job on those extra point plays. We do have to look up some stats. I guarantee you we're up or near the top there on those things. All right, finally, Coach, first down on the Eagles 29, and it's Norman to Scott once again.
Yep, pretty prolific connection against Western Harnett, but they have been that way all year. But 3 touchdowns. I think Jake's got 250 yards, so a pretty good night. And similar concept. They're trying to get the safety over there to help them, but we're able to beat him with the throw. Throw it away from the safety. He makes what should have been a double team into a single team with the throw, and then another. He always catches that. So. Another great job.
I don't know that I've ever seen him drop one of those. I really don't. I mean, I'm maybe in practice or something, but in a game, if it's near there, he's got it. So a beautiful play.
Yeah, I was telling a college coach that called about those two and said, "Well, if you're not going to offer them, I'll take 9 other guys and I'll beat you." So,
absolutely, I'll take them any day of the week. Yeah,
they can get it done.
All right, Coach. Well, thanks a lot. Next up, again, always my favorite part of the show, our weekly player awards. Again, I know we could go all over the board here again, but who you got for us this week?
Offensive player of the week goes to Caden Norman. Obviously, as the yards is what catches everybody's eye in the touchdowns, but the accuracy, 87% completion percentage, and it was even higher than that in the first half when the game was in doubt. So unbelievable performance and accuracy and getting the ball where it needed to be. Great job there. The defensive player of the week actually goes to Jacob Scott, who's also running for offensive player of the week with his 2 interceptions.
Yes, absolutely.
Went up and got 2 of them. This past night he's got 3 interceptions in 2 games. So pulling that double duty.
He's coming on his own here in that defense. He's doing great, fantastic back there.
Yeah. So he's been nice since we shifted him up there, and since he's moved to defense, we've only lost 1 game, so not that that's the whole reason.
Right.
But it's definitely been a help.
And I've talked to him a little bit. I mean, he's excited about it. I mean, he loves it.
He's been trying to get me to do it for years.
Get on the field, and he wants on the field any way he can. But I mean, he loves being back there.
Yep, absolutely. And he's a good free safety. Special teams player of the week goes to Tion Minkins. He does a great job running down there and kickoff. Had a big solo tackle, which if he doesn't make, that guy's running for a while.
He's gone. Yeah.
Does a good job of holding on and getting him out of bounds, recover the fumble. You saw the highlight there of he recovered another fumble on defense, but does a great job on kickoff team and on all our special teams. Forcing the kicks. Almost blocked a couple. He's blocked 1 extra point and almost got a punt. So he does a great job on those and did another great job on Friday night. And then the trenches player of the week goes to Nathan Coward on the D line. He caused a lot of troubles for him inside.
Yes,
and did a great job on those guards.
Absolutely.
When they pulled, he made several plays in the backfield. Faster, he played linebacker. Has played linebacker. Probably will play some more as well. So he's got that speed, but he also has the strength to play on the D line.
Speed and strength. Yeah, absolutely.
It was a nice addition down there this week. And our scout team player of the week goes to Joel Eli.
Okay.
They had probably their biggest star is their tight end.
Yes.
And he scouted that. Big boy, right?
Yeah.
So Joel Eli scouted him for most of the week last week and did a real good job of simulating, the blocking that that young man did. So that was
awesome.
Very helpful for us. And then the program players of the week, we're going to give it to the whole senior class, all 14 of them.
All right.
Senior week this week.
All right.
But they've done a great job keeping this team together when we were 2 and 3. They did a great job all year, keeping the team going the right direction. And, there aren't many senior classes that can say they won a conference championship all 4 years. So with all those in combination, they get the program players of the week this week. So the whole senior class, all 14 of them.
And I know we've talked about it in the past or whatever, but this senior class and this leadership that you have, is something special. I think. I mean, not taking anything away from prior senior classes by any stretch of the imagination, but just the leadership. I know we've talked about it. They don't lead by intimidation or anything like that. I mean, it's character, it's pride in the program. It's just so many of those intangibles that are hard to put your finger on. But they've just done a great job all year.
Yeah, and I think we've consistently had those senior classes, and I think the juniors are learning right now from how the seniors know how to act, and it'll continue to go that way in the future. But yeah, they've done a great job for us all year, for 4 years really.
We're back. Now let's talk about the Rams' upcoming game this week. It's the final regular season game for the Rams. It is at home. It's versus conference rival Corinth-Holders. Pirates come into Cleveland with a 2-8 overall record on the season, 2-2 in conference play, 0-4 on the road. As we mentioned at the beginning of the broadcast, the Rams have already secured the outright conference championship, but this game is far from meaningless, is it not, Coach?
Absolutely. One, we'd be outright conference champions. And then the playoff seeding will be in effect. From looking at it, and it's kind of hard to tell at this point in the year, it looks like we'd be in the mix for the number 1 seed in the East with West Brunswick and some of the others. So, a win would propel us in that kind of direction. I like to think positive, so I'm not sure what a loss would do as far as the playoff seeding.
Don't even want to think about it.
But it'll hurt us. And it's important counting rivalry game. Us and Corinth start at the same time, so if we were both 0-10, this game would mean a lot to the players, and to the coaches, and to the community. So it always means a lot, but it will mean a lot for the playoffs and the conference championship and those kind of things.
And those lower seeds, again, the lower seed, the longer you win, the longer you stay at home. All those games, that's big. You want to be out here at Rams Field as much as you possibly can. Traveling's one thing. You don't like to be out there if you have to. So love to be at home here for the playoffs. But as you mentioned, Coach, Pirates come in the game. They're averaging 25 points a game on offense, giving up virtually about the same amount on defense. Coach Bubba Williams, he took over the program last season and is in his second varsity. He's the second varsity football coach in Corinth-Holders history. Came to the Pirates after 6 seasons as a varsity head coach at Eastern Wayne. A lot of success there for Coach Williams in his last 2 seasons. His team's actually made it to the 3A Eastern Regional Finals. Again, you already mentioned it. Throw in that the Pirates are one of our biggest rivals, probably top 1 or 2 for sure. They've never beaten us, so this game sets up for a good one. What's going to have your attention this week, Coach, in preparation for the Pirates?
Well, unfortunately, they beat us 2 years ago.
That's right. I did say never. That's right. They did have one on us. My apologies.
We split the conference title with them 2 years ago. But obviously, very well coached team. The record's a little deceptive. A lot of those, I think, all but 1 or 2 of them have been about
close games.
Yeah, close games. So, been right there in the mix in the majority of the game. So, they're dangerous. They have a lot of skill, talent, and their O line and D line is the biggest we'll see all year. So, they'll pose some pretty big tests for us. And even though they're 2-8 and probably not going to the playoffs, that's what I told the players yesterday. They're a playoff caliber team as far as talent goes, and just had some bad breaks this year. So that'll be a good test for us to have a playoff caliber team before we go to the bye week and playoffs.
And come out, they're going to be ready to play.
Yeah, there's no tomorrow for them. So I told them they're not going to leave anything on the field. For many of their seniors, it'll be the last time they suit up in a helmet and shoulder pads. So they'll give them their best effort, and we'll have to be ready for that.
Well, you mentioned seniors. It's actually the Rams senior night, Coach. I know that's going to be an emotional night, not only for the players and the fans, but also for the coaching staff as well. We've already talked about it a little bit. A lot of great young men playing their last regular season game at Rams Field, but I know it's going to be an emotional night for you.
Yeah, it will. It always is. It's an important night for those players. It's really up to the underclassmen to serve their seniors and make sure they have the night that they deserve.
All right, well, Ram fam, there you go. Here we go again. We're looking already sewn up that conference championship, but this is a very important game for the Rams and in our community, for the playoffs, all the above. So we're going to need you there again to support these seniors, support this coaching staff and this team, and finish out the regular season on a high note heading into the playoffs. So again, next up is the Pirates of Corinth-Holders. It's at home. It's 7:30 kickoff. Is it 7:30, right, Coach?
Yes, sir.
As we said, senior night for the Rams, so I'm sure you want to be, we want a packed house there to pay homage to these great group of guys. We'll certainly be there covering every play, and we'll be right back here next week with coverage and highlights of the game. We'll talk about the upcoming playoffs and seedings and all those kind of things, so you don't want to miss that. But Coach, thank you for your time again this week. Any final comments for us?
No, we look forward to seeing you. As you said, we hope to have a packed house. As the weather couldn't be better to go out and watch a football game, and we really appreciate having a full house.
Absolutely.
Screaming fans for us.
All right, well, good luck, Coach. Let's bring home another W. Tune in next week, Ram fam, and as always, go Rams.